Hey guys, welcome to another video. And today we have Pratik, a very special guest that we're going to be talking to. He's killing it inside our program Ecom Edge and doing close to 30 lakhs a month in sales. So welcome Pratik, and super excited to speak to you today and let the viewers know what's been up.
Yeah, hey, Ishan. Glad to be part of this interview. And likewise, it's a pleasure to be part of this e-commerce program. And initially, I started my main line of business is into exports. So
Okay.
initially, I wanted to start with sort of like US drop shipping, since we're coming across a lot of products. But
Mm.
since the category which we were dealing it was into electronics and were flagged as like a DG good, like dangerous goods. So in the end, that couldn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
So by then I had my own store, like going through tutorials and all. But since past 2 3 months, I have been following you and Nishkash on the same thing. And the only thing I was lagging maybe was the Zuckerberg part, like the meta ads, like cracking the main thing, which is your marketing, like no matter what you do. So
Mm-hmm.
that's I mean, without a doubt, like I had no hesitation in joining this course. Like I knew the journey. Like I had been following you guys since a long time.
How long?
Just
How
that
long?
I knew.
How long? Just for my knowledge, like how long has it been you've been like kind of?
So I got onboarded like late November,
No, no,
but
no.
I
Yeah, how long have you been like following me or Nishkarsh or whatever? Like, how long has it been?
so I've been following you like since early June 2024,
Okay.
and then November was when I got onboarded with the program. And in the first month or so, I wasn't consistent, I would say, because yeah, start of 2025 was really I started kicking in and stayed consistent with product testing and all.
Nice, nice. So I think let's sort of like dive right in. I think everyone who's watching this wants to probably understand कि ऐसा प्रतीक ने क्या रॉकेट साइंस लगाया कि उसके ऐसे रिजल्ट आए हैं राइट सो व्हाट्स ठीक है सो यू स्पोक अबाउट द जक मेथड जो
Mhm.
बेसिकली हमारा फेसबुक एड्स का एक मॉड्यूल है where we teach people how to like scale, start,
Mhm.
test creatives, etc. um, but I think um, before that, like tell me, let's start with like tell me a bit about yourself. What's your journey been? Of course आपका मतलब background import का है, but like
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I have a master's in international management, and I was in France for the past 3 years.
Okay.
And that's where I was like always fascinated with international trade. My curriculum was obviously included that. And I had that sort of kick in mind that I wanted to start something in international trade. And that's where me, along with my brother, who's an architect, uh, I came back to India and then started an export house where
Mhm.
we deal with like multiple niche products, like not specific to one category, but it's more like a trading company.
Got it.
And then since we were coming across a lot of products from US, Southeast Asia, as well as which were on huge demand in the Gulf as well.
Mm.
Then I started thinking of a product which was manufactured in India, and then sort of wanted to drop ship it to the US market. Since it was an electronic niche, which included like lithium ion batteries, it was a bit difficult. I tried contacting like FedEx, DHL. It was a bit difficult because DG goods is not that easy to,
Especially in air, right?
send. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you want to do it by air. So
Mm.
in during that period, I was like, okay, why not test waters in Indian market as well? So that's where I made up a store before joining Ecom Edge. I had my store and everything like Pixel, and I think I had fucked up installing my Pixel, and which I corrected in my next store in by 2025, following your foundations.
Okay.
And that store was running good, but I felt there was something wrong with my Pixel, like in terms of deduplication, like tracking and all.
Mm.
So the best thing I could do was shut down the store, and because I did not want it to have a doubt in my mind, okay, maybe this is the thing that my
Yeah.
ad metrics are not that great. So I switched to a new store, completely new store, and then followed the foundations on the modules which were in the e-commerce thing. And that's when I figured out that I had did something bit unusual than what was being taught in the course.
And the
And then
pixel
the
and the
way
pixel and the pixel is like it's a small step, but it's so important because it's essentially
exactly,
your
because
tracking, right? Yeah.
if you look at like YouTube tutorials, everybody has a different way of setting it up. So maybe someone says, okay, you need to turn on this parameters or certain toggles, but I think there's no need at some
Yeah, so
point.
for
It,
whoever,
it it's
I think for the people who are watching who might not know what a pixel is, pixel
uh-huh.
वो चीज है जो एक कोड वेबसाइट पे जाता है and वो the code tells you कि आपका कस्टमर क्या कर रहा है वेबसाइट पे, is he
Mm-hmm.
checking out,
Yep,
is he buying a product, is he viewing a page, so yeah, so cool. So there were some few steps that maybe you didn't do the right way, and
yeah,
then
yeah, exactly.
essentially once you had the access to the program, you got there. Cool. But I think
Yeah,
let's
and
dive
actually that's the most important part when it comes to long-term scaling and stuff. Yeah.
100%. Now, I think let's sort of like dive right into the meat.
Mm-hmm.
I think और मैं इसको थोड़ा सा pretext दूंगा क्योंकि
Okay.
काफी लोग काफी लोग I think you know what I'm talking about, but I'm still going to give it some pretext कि काफी लोग जो हैं and I'm generalizing here, वो अब सबको पता है यार कि इंडिया में आरटीओ की प्रॉब्लम है, करेक्ट?
Exactly. Yeah.
सबको ये भी पता है कि देर आर सर्टन प्रोवाइडर्स जो शायद डोंट डू द बेस्ट जॉब एट प्रोवाइडिंग
Mm-hmm.
प्रोडक्ट्स, डिलीवरिंग प्रोडक्ट्स, और उसके वजह से बिजनेस में लॉस होते हैं, राइट?
True.
नाउ ये प्रॉब्लम एक इंडस्ट्री वाइड प्रॉब्लम है, ये प्रॉब्लम सिर्फ प्रतीक के लिए नहीं है, शान के लिए नहीं है, दिस इज फॉर एवरीवन,
Exactly.
करेक्ट? तो I think whatever we even preach inside Ecom Edge is the fact that always be solution driven instead of problem
Exactly.
driven.
Problem driven. Yeah.
करेक्ट? तो भाई ठीक है, प्रॉब्लम ये है कि आरटीओ है और देर आर सर्टन प्लेटफॉर्म्स जो अच्छे नहीं हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल। ओके, व्हाट नाउ? सो मैं दो चीज़ें कर सकता हूँ। एक चीज़ मैं ये कर सकता हूँ कि मैं आई कैन एक्ट लाइक अ चाइल्ड एंड कीप क्राइंग अबाउट समथिंग एंड कीप कंप्लेनिंग दैट दिस इज
Yeah.
रॉन्ग, मेरा लॉस हो
Yeah.
रहा है, ड्रॉप शिपिंग
Mm-hmm.
स्कैम है, ऑल दैट। और आई कैन बी लाइक कूल, ये प्रॉब्लम है बट सोल्यूशन में इसका होगा। एंड आई
Mm-hmm.
थिंक you're one of the very few people inside ecom जिन्होंने ये this specific जो मॉड्यूल है that I'm going to be talking about, which is called hybrid dropshipping, मतलब मैंने बात है इसके बारे में अपने YouTube में भी बात किया. It's not like I
Mm-hmm.
gatekeep anything. Again, I've explained it in detail inside the program, but I've spoken about this on my YouTube also कि भाई
Yeah.
hybrid
Yeah. Yeah.
dropshipping ये होता है, ये होता है, ये होता है.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell so many people to do it. It's literally a module, and still लोग करते नहीं है.
Nobody.
लोग आके कंप्लेन
Mm-hmm.
करते हैं कि ये मेरे डिलीवर नहीं कर रहा, ये प्लेटफॉर्म ऐसा है, ये ऐसा है. तो आप अपनी जर्नी बताओ कि ये हाइब्रिड ड्रॉपशिपिंग
Okay.
जर्नी कैसे यू स्टार्टेड कि यार व्हाट वाज योर माइंडसेट और योर मेंटल मॉडल एट दैट पॉइंट. सो जस्ट टेक अस फ्रॉम देयर फ्रॉम द स्टार्ट.
Okay. So I'll do one thing. I'll cover every bit of it, like right from the struggling phase, like RTOs, and then
या
having a
दैट वुड बी
negative
ऑसम फॉर
bias,
एवरीवन
then
हियरिंग.
to how I moved down to hybrid dropshipping. So initially, when I started with my store too, I think I did one mistake, was not checking the delivery percentage in the very first week. Okay, and what I had a decent ROAS, and I felt okay. It's gonna cover up my profits and stuff. But what happened was I was doing doing it with a private
Supplier, yeah.
supplier, yeah, and that was via Shiprocket.
ओके.
Even though Shiprocket had given me like decent rates, which is like the diamond plan and those things, so that's the reason I shifted to Shiprocket. But even after calling NDR confirmation, one big roadblock for me was fake attempts. So this is something not even Shiprocket can do much about it. It's happening at the ground level, because when you
करेक्ट.
try to speak to the customers, at times I've also spoken to the delivery guy whenever there was a contact number with them, and this was in the very first month. Like I had a lot of time to invest on those stuff, like calling and everyone. And like the delivery partners would say, "Bhaiya, aaj nahi hoga, kal." And after third attempt, it just gets RTO'd.
यस.
And even if you update the NDR, since Shiprocket is only the aggregator, even if you do it like the evening, maybe by then the product has already been RTO'd.
गॉट इट.
So I made my first loss with them. My delivery percentage was hitting near like 35% maybe, but it was more like a break even, but a bit of a loss.
ओके.
And then later I shifted to delivery, and I had the same experience. So that's when I was looking for other aggregators, and then I also moved to Fship and MoveOcean, and I had a really good delivery percentage when it comes to like not. One thing which I had noticed was most of my NDR orders were getting delivered with these aggregators.
Okay, so the attempts were
So, but
being.
that could be very subjective because there was a certain product which I had tried to ship rocket, and that had a decent delivery percentage when I compare it to other like delivery or even Fship. So
Mm-hmm.
when people badmouth about even Roposo, there have been certain times when जब मुझे Roposo ने अच्छी delivery दी है,
Okay,
uh, rather than like Shiprocket or this thing.
ठीक है.
So it really depends. You need to test on different basis. So what happens is how I test a product is if I see a product on Roposo, what I'll do is I'll try to test it with private supplier. I'll try to test it with Roposo, and if there's like another like okay Dropdash or any other this thing
Yeah,
marketplace, I'll
platform.
try to
Yeah,
test it with them. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
whoever gives me the best results, I'll try to scale with them.
yeah. Exactly.
And
No,
you figure that out.
100%. So like you've said something which sounds simple, and
Mm-hmm.
to some extent it is, but yet people don't do it, right? And
Exactly. Yeah.
the keyword here is test, because I genuinely feel like marketing is just a fancy word for testing different things. Test,
Yeah.
testing different creatives, different pricing,
Mm-hmm.
aggregators. Now you spoke about Shiprocket, you spoke about Dropdash, to all these other platforms, और हमने भी यही बोला है कि यार ठीक है,
Mm-hmm.
प्रपोजल जैसे प्लेटफॉर्म में टेस्ट करो, वैलिडेट करो टू सम एक्सटेंट, एंड
Exactly.
क्विकली मूव ऑन टू प्राइवेट सप्लायर, एंड देन have control, because जब आपके पास control होता है,
Mm-hmm.
you can control your shipping, you can control so many things. But most people stop at that one stage, don't test anything
Uh-huh.
else, and then say यार कि ये dropshipping scam है.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Because the first product which I did like 300 orders in the first 3 days, and I was very optimistic about it. Then I was bit of not so positive about Shiprocket. But then later I realized, okay, that's something Shiprocket has no control over, because what's happening at the ground level is very difficult to gauge. And then I tried testing with different aggregators, and soon I realized, okay, if I'm getting decent amount of orders from a particular product, it would make sense for me to hold certain inventory. Because after doing like 500 odd orders or 600, you do realize that okay, this is your percentage. You get this much amount of COD orders, and let's say 15 to 20% you get prepaid. So I was getting around 20-25% of prepaid orders.
Okay, nice.
So it was wiser for me to self-fulfill those prepaid orders, because anyway it would cost me around like 40-50 INR, because there's no COD fee on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it would barely take me like since it's a prepaid order, I could like fulfill two consecutive days orders in one night or like that.
Okay.
So it was, since then you have a greater margin and more advantage over your CPP spike as well.
Yeah,
So let's say
100%.
if you're scaling and you I mean what happens with scaling is your CPP is not that great when you try to duplicate, because certain ad set does not really work. So
Yeah.
that's where your prepaid orders would help you average those CPP cost, and that's what I did. And then talking about this product which I scaled last month, uh, it was initially around 450, and
What's
then
450 as in?
450 INR
The
with
price.
shipping cost.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
shipping
cogs,
included.
cogs. Okay.
Yeah, costs. Yeah, and then I stocked some inventory. It was costing me around like 150 or 200 profit more per product, and
No,
I
explain that
think
point. 200 profit more as in?
more in the sense,
Yeah,
okay, like
you
it
brought down the
was costing me
pricing.
250. Yeah, no.
Again.
Since I was buying inventory myself and doing those prepaid orders, it was costing me merely like 250 instead of 450.
Okay, so
So
you
that's my extra margin which I could generate with prepaid orders. And one thing I have
so you
was
sourced
also,
you sourced the same product for 200 rupees lesser. Correct? Am I getting that right?
yes, yeah,
Okay, yeah. So
yeah.
again, I just want to pause and like stress on this point, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a huge point, because लोगों को लगता है यार कि अगर मैं अपना CPP सपोज 150 से 100 पे ले आऊंगा, या 150 से 70 पे ले आऊंगा, या 150 से या किसी भी नंबर से कम ले आऊंगा,
Mm-hmm.
वो प्रॉफिट है. बट प्रॉफिट मार्केटिंग एंड पे भी नहीं, सोर्सिंग की एंड पे भी होना
Exactly,
है, right?
exactly.
You have to basically understand that I need to take out every goddamn rupee from each part of the funnel of my business.
Yeah, yeah,
And if you can save 100, 200 rupees just from sourcing, that's a lot of money. That's like 50%
exactly.
of your actual
Mm-hmm.
COGS. And उसके बाद जो CAC पे करोगे तो वही है. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's a great point for everyone watching. Don't always try to optimize your ads. Like, of course, that you will do anyway. अच्छे creative बनाओ, UGC लाओ, editor hire करो, all that stuff that I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
think we speak inside the community, but
Yeah.
sourcing is so important. And again, it's not just the pricing, but also, like you said, the delivery you get and
Mm-hmm.
what you've been doing. But yeah, yeah,
Because
please, yeah.
yeah, I did not do this in the very first week or 2 week, because by the time I had like did 500 orders, I could still I still had in the mind, maybe if I had done this with a
500 orders a day or 500 orders total.
no, in the week, in the
Okay.
like just when I started out testing, by then I was like, okay, maybe I had did some prepaid orders myself, but those 500 orders gave me a data on what's my delivery percentage, like what was my backend going through, like what was my operational cost, what was my delivery percentage, how much of my orders are in NDR, and what's the RTO percentage.
Yeah.
So if your backend is strong, I would say it would make sense to hold some inventory with you, because you never know when would a product would get out of stock from your supplier or other end.
Yeah.
Because in the last 15 days, what happened was I was scaling like 200, 300 orders a day, and we had no inventory. So
Okay.
we had to pause the ad and then rely on the RTO orders to come back and then fulfill it. So
Mm.
that's where we are stuck right now. But yeah, the inventory is still coming in. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, it's. I always like to say this: they're bad problems, and then they're good problems.
good
And
problems.
not
Yeah,
having going out of stock is probably definitely a good problem.
yeah.
But cool. Like that's pretty exciting, man. Like, yeah. For again context for people, hybrid dropshipping यही होता है कि आप
Mm-hmm.
basically थोड़ा सा स्टॉक खुद होल्ड करते हो. एंड आई ऑलवेज रेकमेंड कि अगर आइडली अगर आपको सप्लायर मिल जाए अपने प्रोडक्ट के लिए तो उसी
Mm-hmm.
सिटी में हो, बिकॉज देन यू कैन ऑल्सो पोर्टर इट डेली टू योर सेल्फ. लाइक
Exactly.
सपोज यू कैन
Mm-hmm.
प्रोजेक्ट दैट यार मेरे दिन के 200 ऑर्डर हैं, तो यू कैन जस्ट ऑर्डर 200 300 orders every day with that
Mm-hmm.
guy and fulfill daily, right? Of course you
Yeah.
will have to do some negotiation और ये हो जाता है, but if you can promise him and show him some vision कि यार मैं तेरे से ऑर्डर लूंगा 200 ऑर्डर
Mm-hmm.
डेली, I will source it from you, then just porter it. Like अगर वो दिल्ली में है for example, that's where I live, then I will just
Mm-hmm.
porter it. It'll take me 1 hour to get here, and from here I'll package it and ship it every day
Yeah,
instead of
yeah.
buying like a
Exactly.
5,000 piece thing. So very
Mm-hmm.
powerful. And for all the people who cry about all the other platforms and everything, guys, we teach this inside. Please do it. I'm sure a lot of the guys from Ecom Edge will be watching this. So please, guys, like do what Pratik has done, and it's gonna help you. But cool. Now let's talk about like I think the most powerful thing that even I had, coming up while I was learning dropshipping, and I was part of like some really good communities and
Mm-hmm.
surrounded by people and mentors who were really like knew their shit, of course, but were high performing individuals, and that
Mm-hmm.
forced me कि यार मैं भी level up होता हूँ. तो how's the
Exactly.
experience
Mm-hmm.
been being inside the community?
See, it's I mean, there's no problem which could be solved within the community. Like if you try just searching a keyword, like let's say an agency ad account, you'll find like 1,000 threads around it. So
Hmm.
if you go, so what I have seen within the community is people are behind the shiny toy syndrome. Like for example, they watch your ads, they come into, they enroll, and by then they are optimistic. Like, okay, if Vishal is doing like 1 CR, Mamun is doing like X figures, okay, even I can do it. But during that process, they lose that optimism, since
Hmm.
they are like uninformed. I mean, uninformed in the sense there's RTO, there's like ad banning issues, there's operational difficulties, etc. So once you shift from that optimistic mindset, when you go towards that uninformed pessimism, that's where people lose shit, and then they feel like, okay, this industry is not meant to be for us, or drop shipping is dead, etc., etc. So what I feel is you should not have the surprise element. For example, if Ishan says me, okay, I'm gonna slap you
Okay.
right now. I mean, if you slap me without giving me like a hint, probably I'll be surprised. Okay, but if you tell me like I'm gonna slap you in the next 5 minutes, I'll be ready to take that impact. So whenever you come into this industry, you need to take into consideration there's always gonna be roadblocks. There's always gonna be some problem, and you need to be like solution driven. if you come up with the negative, like negative or like a toxic trait, like no matter how much this course spoon feeds you, no strategy is going to work.
Bang on,
And
man.
I think you need to, I mean, people come up with queries like, okay, how many product did you test, or what was your CPP? These are like very basic questions. Okay, and it's covered in every curriculum, like every module. But I would say it's not about testing, but you need to zoom out. Like, okay, if my CPM is higher, okay, probably what's going wrong at the ad metric end? What is your hook rate, or what is your thumb stop
Yeah.
ratio?
So let's
So you
let's
need
you
to zoom out those things.
yeah, you said a lot of
And
great points. Yeah, go on, sorry. Go on.
yeah, and till date, I haven't outsourced my any of my creatives. I do it myself.
Okay.
So so what I believe is, if I want to test a product, let's say, like if I'm testing like late night, like 10 p.m. or so, I would probably give it a day to make sure it's not half baked. Because if I want to like rapidly test, I want to make sure that my creatives are on the spot, so that I don't have that benefit of doubt. Maybe my what creative or my interest was not on point. That's why it did not
Yeah, so
work
you
out.
give it
So
all
I
so that
want to
you
give my 100%
yeah, so
if
there's
whenever I want to test
so
it,
that when
even
your
if it.
test
Mhm.
when if your test failed, at least you can tell yourself in sleep at night that मैंने
Exactly,
सारा काम कर
exactly,
दिया. But I just want
exactly.
to touch back on a few points. You made some really strong points about
Mhm.
when people come into the community, they see guys like Vishal, they see guys like
Yeah,
Mamu
yeah, yeah,
and Nivan, and of course you should. मैं भी जब एक community में जब घुसा था तो there were people over there who were doing like $1 million months.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
करोड़
exactly.
रुपए
Mhm.
महीने का कर रहे हैं. And I was like, wow, I looked up to them. Now, there are two sides of the coin. One is great because everyone gets motivated, everyone like,
Exactly.
मैं भी करूंगा. But like they say, right? Like that's the tip of the iceberg.
Mhm.
If Vishal has done 1 crore or Mamun has done XYZ or Ivan
Mhm.
has done 2 crores, you're just seeing this part. But what about the part below that, which is the
Exactly. Yeah,
sleepless
yeah.
nights, the
Mhm.
12-hour work days, the no weekends,
Mhm.
the relentless hard work? It's like people don't want this, they want this. But this
Exactly.
comes because of
So
this.
so comparison is great, but you
Yeah, no,
should
it's not even about comparison. It's just that
you should not be too obsessive about it.
yeah, I
It,
think I
it,
think
it
I
happened with me.
I think
Uh,
the mhm.
yeah, because when I was scaling the first product, like I said, I did not stop at like 100 orders. I did like 330 and then realized, okay, my delivery ratio isn't that great.
And we tell people to
Because
stop at 100
because
for
you are
example.
chasing a milestone, you were chasing a six-figure number. That's
Yeah.
where you sometimes lose shit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's a different tangent. And I agree with you. Even though you said very clearly that guys stop at 100 orders, see your delivery.
Exactly.
And once you know delivery and you know, like you said, your backend is sorted, you can even hold stock or you could scale. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the point I was trying to make was not from a point of comparison, but from a point of like, okay, you were optimistic because आपने देखा कि एक बंदा suppose 1 करोड़ महीने का कर रहा है, 27 दिन में कर रहा है, to be
Mm-hmm.
precise. लेकिन उसके पीछे बहुत हार्ड वर्क है उसके पीछे बहुत कुछ है तो
Exactly.
यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट एंड आई डोंट थिंक एनीवेयर आई निष्कर्ष एनीवन इनसाइड ई-कॉमर्स और एनीवेयर एल्स एटलीस्ट आई कैन स्पीक फॉर आवर कम्युनिटी हैज सेड कि ये आसान है हमने हमेशा ये बोला है कि ये डूएबल है राइट
Yeah.
इट्स
True.
डूएबल एंड इज इट हार्ड okay sure but it's
Mm-hmm.
doable and
Yeah.
I also believe like hard is you make it more harder for yourself when you don't think the way let's say you're
Yeah.
like
I
you're
think clarity is more important. Let's say, I mean, when you know what to do and what not to, or for example, when you know when to stop your ads or when to kill, like
yeah
if it's
it's
burning a
I,
lot of.
I come back to the basics about
Mm-hmm.
following the process watching the program
Yeah,
taking
yeah, true.
notes and asking yourself कि यार जो अगर मेरे को ये कहा गया था that I was supposed to do 1 2 3 4 5 did I
Mm-hmm.
do 1 2 3 4 5
Yeah.
I did 11 15 2004 and I expected results
I
for 1
skipped.
2
Yeah.
3 4 5 yeah like I just skipped steps I went straight to the ads module I
Mm-hmm.
see so many people who don't watch कि स्टोर बिल्डिंग कैसे करनी
The
है
end.
स्टोर बिल्ड
Mm-hmm.
करना तो मेरे को आता है अच्छा वो लॉजिस्टिक्स वो तो आता है अच्छा एड्स देख लेता हूँ लोगों को लगता है एड से
That's the most important
yeah
part. Yeah.
yeah I mean don't get me wrong it is important and we have a very lengthy ads module but it is a part of your business it's a
Yeah.
very integral part but it's not everything you can't
Mm-hmm.
skip steps to success you know you have
Yeah.
to
True.
put in the work and after the optimism does fade away I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of people because then it's like अरे अब तो काम करना पड़ेगा
Yeah.
अब तो काम करना पड़ेगा. हाँ भाई, काम करना पड़ेगा. Like no one gets it easy, and I, at least
It's not.
in
Mm-hmm.
my experience, or I mean, let's look up anyone who's successful, like grandly
Mm-hmm.
successful, who's got it easy, man. किसी को आसानी से कुछ नहीं मिला है, ठीक है. Everyone's had to work for it, and everyone's had to go through hard shit in life to get to where they are. So I think on day one, if you just accept कि यार काम लगेगा, roadblocks आएंगे, but if I keep
If
uh,
I keep doing, yeah.
sticking to it, then I will prevail, right? And I think that's some model that I'm sure would have helped you also on your tougher
Yeah.
days when things weren't working.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. And like, I'm curious. So in terms of like networking in the community, like, have you like made friends? Have you who?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I often get questions. I try to answer them with my best interest whenever possible.
Okay.
But yeah, sometimes it's not possible. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
no
Of
harsh.
course. Too
Yeah,
many people. I understand.
yeah.
You're busy. You're trying
If
to run your
it's
business. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So no harsh feeling for anyone, but it's just that you're. I mean, everything is there. If I mean the question which might have been unanswered, but yeah, everything is there in the foundation of the code.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And like, I think that aside, let's leave like the Zuck method and the networking and maybe
Mhm.
like the things that again are very powerful. But tell me something else that you found that like, okay, this was something that I found inside here that I think helped me kind of like grow as a person, grow as an entrepreneur, grow my business, whatever. Like anything that you found particular. I'm just curious to know. I always keep asking people these questions.
Okay, so I'll talk about creatives because I do my own creatives even till date, and ever since I have shortened the length, like 9 to 15 seconds, I've been seeing like good, like decent front end metrics,
Hmm.
and as well as I mean you should whenever you try to run an ad for any product. I mean, Instagram is there. Whenever you come across any ad or any sort of a brand, you try to take inspiration from it, like not just like the easiest way would be just copy paste what they have done, but I try to take inspiration. I save those content in a folder called content ideas, and whenever I have a product which could be duplicated in a certain sense, like I could draw some inspiration from it, then I do it in that way,
Okay,
and that
got
has
it.
helped because if you keep looking at a certain product ad again and again, that means itself that the product is a hit. So you
Yeah.
don't have to find it every time on Roposo, but sometimes it's just there. You need to pick it up
Yeah, I
whenever you.
mean, I mean, see, a lot of the things you can make it as a process, and what we try to
Hmm.
do is that, we have to make a product or a program for thousands of people. So there are guys
Hmm.
like you, and then there are guys who are extreme beginners who essentially,
Hmm.
let's say, don't even understand what digital marketing is. So
Yep.
we try to make it as simple as possible for people to understand. But still, there always has to be an element of an entrepreneur thinking out of the goddamn box. Like that is your
Hmm.
basically an entrepreneur's job to have these, hacks or your personal sort of hacks of thinking out of the box of exactly what you said, like, to because if everyone did the same thing, then everyone would get the same result, but that doesn't happen,
Yeah.
right? You got to do things which other people aren't doing. Like for example, if you're
Hmm.
making a content library and it's like basically you feeding data into this folder that you can revisit and then literally like I'll give you an example. I also have a like for our creators, our creative team has a hook library. Okay, so we have
Okay.
close to 500 hooks
Wow.
of a library, which is like if you did X, then you will get Y. Like the X and Y are
Hmm. Yeah. Yes.
placeholders,
Got it.
and you can just slap that onto any creative.
Hmm.
So and we keep building that hook library कि दिमाग लगाना ही नहीं है भाई. जैसे क्रिएटिव बनेगा, hook library जाओ, जो भी फिट आ रहा है उसको चेपो, and then you
Yeah.
put
Yeah.
it, right? So you need to do these things, and no one taught me how to do that. But I was like, यार ये hook सबसे important part है वीडियो का, ठीक है, 3
Hmm.
तो और बार बार टीम भी सोचती है कि क्या हुक होना चाहिए. एंड इवन इफ यू जीपीटी इट, इट्स नॉट लाइक जीपीटी इज लाइक अ लाइफ सेवर, इट विल ऑलवेज गिव यू द बेस्ट रिजल्ट. सो व्हाई नॉट कम आउट विद सम हुक्स, बिकॉज सम हुक्स आई टेल यू work with
Hmm.
most products, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so there are some hooks that I'll slap on to like 7 products from 7 niches, but the
Hmm.
hook is so good that it'll work. So okay, I know it's a winning hook, right? So there's stuff like that. But like I think another thing I want to ask you is like, of course, leave the e-com side aside, leave the creatives, leave the hybrid
Okay.
customers aside.
Hmm.
Inside the community, what else did you find that you think like worked for you? Like maybe the calls we have, or maybe like something else aside the lessons. You have anything like of
Hmm.
that sort?
Yeah. I mean, the calls really help. because no community would take like these many sort of calls for creatives, for meta help,
Just for
like
context, like just for the people listening, like
yeah,
how many calls do we have?
we
Like,
have like weekly five,
so we have one call a day, right?
one call a day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there's one for creative, one for meta ads, one with Nishkash, one with Ishan, like every consecutive week.
Yeah.
But and yeah, of course you get to ask questions as well. I mean, I haven't really asked questions so far, but you tend to learn from the questions which are being asked. So just being inside the meeting also helps. It's not about like you need to come up with a question every time. I mean, fair
100%.
enough if you have,
Yeah.
but there's lot to learn from the questions which people come up with.
100%. Yeah, that is such a good point because like sometimes there could be a question that you didn't even think of, but
Exactly, yeah.
someone asked it and you're like, oh shit, I didn't even think of that.
Why didn't I think
Now,
about it? Yeah.
yeah, and now you will use that when you encounter that problem, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, it's always so good to see new faces on my weekly calls because that tells me that I'm
Mm-hmm.
interacting with more people and helping more people build their online businesses. But I'll be
Mm-hmm.
honest and I'll say it out loud here. I say this in every call, man, Pratik. I say this in every call. I was like, guys, I'm happy to see you, but I hope I see you again.
Again, yeah.
I don't see the same names again. And the name of the game is to turn up every single time,
Yeah.
to show up. You
Mm-hmm.
can't show up once, then not show up for 2 months, and then expect things to work, right?
Exactly.
When I started out, I'm telling you, I used to, and by the way, I started with international dropshipping, right? So I was doing
Okay.
US, correct? That was
Mm-hmm.
my, I started India in 2023, so very recently, technically. Most of my experience, not most of my experience, now I have experience in both markets, but
Mm-hmm.
started with the US, UK, Canada, Australia, stuff like that. And my weekly calls with, let's say, the community
Your
I
mentor,
was
yeah.
used to
Mm-hmm.
happen at 10 p.m., 12 a.m.
Wow.
And I used to turn up on every
Every
single
single goal.
call. I did not miss any call for 6 months. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what helped me to take my business from $30,000 to $300,000
300.
in 6 months. Okay. I 10x
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't rocket science. I wasn't the smartest guy. It's just that I turned up every single time. And that's what I want people, not just inside the community listening to this, but also people who are watching who are outside, that you got to turn up, man. You got to take action. Otherwise, if you think that it's just going to come to you and you're just going to watch some motivational reel on Instagram and get inspired or do, it doesn't work that way. I hope it was that easy, man. So, yeah, what do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah. I mean, just a follow-up question on your dropshipping journey.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, how has been your experience with the US, Canada, and like the other markets? Do you think it's scalable after a certain point? Because there have been few people I've spoken to. Uh, they felt that it's not scalable beyond like 3 to 5 lakhs of profitability. But I'm not sure. I wanted your one word take on it, like
Okay, so I agree with one part of the answer that whoever said that you 3 to 5
okay
lakh profit per what month?
per month, yeah.
Oh no 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 no.
No.
We were making like 3 to 5 lakhs more than that a day in
Okay,
international
great.
dropshipping. So we scaled the business to about $40,000 a day, which is about 35 lakhs,
Okay.
netting about
Mm-hmm.
20%. The problem wasn't the profitability. It is profitable. The problem is the amount of goddamn headache which comes with international dropshipping. Let me start
Okay.
with yeah,
Is
I'll
it with compliance? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
everything by setting up compliance is actually not that hard. Like I have a company in the US and Hong Kong even now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you can set up a company. Again, I was fortunate enough to have the right network और उन्होंने मेरे को contacts दे दिए. But ठीक
Okay.
है आपने अगर setup भी कर ली. Payment processing. Payment processing
Yeah.
bans are notorious. PayPal, notorious. Stripe, all these. I won't say too much because I don't want to get clipped and maybe one day they're like तेरे को ban करते हैं. But yeah, like notorious payment gateways. आप ये समझो कि अगर आपका payment gateway ban हो गया, आपका धंधा बंद है.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You cannot accept payments.
It's
ठीक है?
true, true.
Biggest headache. Then Facebook bans. Facebook bans are a lot more stricter in the West. And
Yes, yeah.
I don't have a logic for this, but with my experience and all the people I know, India का
Mm-hmm.
Facebook है ना, हर jurisdiction का Facebook अलग होता है in terms of the amount of strictness they have. Like
Okay.
में जो ad चल रहे होंगे ना, वो आप चला के दिखा दो US में normal ad account से. You will not get
Mm-hmm.
disabled, you get restricted. Okay. For whatever reason, US Facebook is harder. So Facebook
Harder.
payment processing, and now with all the red tape that has come with money coming in and out of India, there's
Okay.
whole like I don't want to say too much, but you get my point. Like the whole money aspect of it, of cross-border transactions
Yeah, yeah.
that way, right?
Remittance. Yeah.
Again, यूएस ड्रॉप शिपिंग अभी इंडियन ड्रॉप शिपिंग से 10 गुना ज़्यादा हार्डर है इन एवरी कॉन्टेक्स्ट.
Yeah, that's what I
Be it,
heard. Yeah.
be it finding the product, be it marketing the product. Logistics are kind of a tad bit better because China and US का जो
Yeah, yeah.
say supply chain
The
is
trade.
sorted.
Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
sorted. It's a worldwide supply chain. But वहाँ एक सेल लाना हार्ड है. And I mean one. I'm not exaggerating. Getting one
Mm-hmm.
is hard. So सी आई प्रैक्टिस व्हाट आई प्रीच. बहुत सारे जो सो कॉल्ड लोग हैं इंडस्ट्री में, एंड आई डोंट consider myself to be an influencer. I'm more of an entrepreneur, but people
Mm-hmm.
say that I'm whatever. Like, but
Yeah.
I practice what I preach. उसका मतलब ये है कि
Okay.
जो मैं बोलता हूँ मैं वही करता हूँ. तो
Mm-hmm.
2023 में मैं कहाँ आया?
Yeah, makes sense. Even I have to I'll have to put more to it. I've seen people from Vietnam, Singapore, and even from China. They sort of do drop shipping in India.
Yeah, because
Like the one who provides you like USDT agency ad accounts and those people. They
yeah,
have so the market is here. Just that we want to go elsewhere.
man, I
Just because we see that okay, it's no, there's no COD or like no RTO risk
yeah,
and
but
just
but
repeat
please
orders.
don't be fooled by no.
Exactly.
Don't be like, I'm not saying you, but anyone who's watching this,
Uh,
don't be fooled by no COD. वो डॉलर जरूर है, बट वो डॉलर लाना बहुत हार्ड होता है यार. और देखो बात यही नहीं कि वो नहीं हो सकता. आप जाके ट्राई करो.
uh-huh.
प्लीज फील फ्री. बट लेट मी आस्क यू.
Mm-hmm.
90% of people quit in the beginning, right? When things are hard. There is something called a low hanging fruit. Why would I
Mm-hmm.
want to make my
Yeah.
life harder in the beginning? अगर, और आप एक चीज देखो, कोई भी मैच होता है, होम टीम का एडवांटेज होता है या अवे टीम का होता है जब आप मैच खेलते हो? राइट. आप अपने अपनी
It's
सिटी
always
में
the
खेल.
home
इट्स
team.
ऑलवेज होम. यू वांट टू प्ले होम एंड दिस इज आवर होम. वी अंडरस्टैंड
Mm-hmm.
द मार्केट, वी अंडरस्टैंड पीपल. आई गिव एक और चैलेंज बताता हूँ. वहाँ
Mm-hmm.
आप यूएस सपोज हॉलीडे पे गए हो, कुछ भी गए हो, बट आप वहाँ के लोगों को नहीं जानते. सिंपल सी बात है. राइट.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can do all the market research on the planet. You do not understand the pulse of an American, for example, because
Yeah.
you understand the pulse of the people you've been grown up with, which is
Exactly.
Indians.
Yeah.
And now who am I competing with? मैं compete कर रहा हूँ यूएस ड्रॉपशिपर से,
Who
यूरोपियन.
already know the persona of like
They
their
know the
yeah.
person, दोनों exactly कि कौन क्या सोचता है. अब मैं बहुत
Mm-hmm.
छोटा सा एग्जांपल देता हूँ and I'll maybe make my point. वहां पर वॉलमार्ट है, ठीक है.
Mm-hmm.
जहाँ का आई लेट्स से आई हैव नेवर बीन टू वॉलमार्ट. मेरे को पता नहीं वॉलमार्ट में दिखता क्या है. अब मैं
Mm-hmm.
भाई घंटों प्रोडक्ट रिसर्च कर रहा हूँ. मैं अलीबाबा गया, अली एक्सप्रेस गया, सीजे ड्रॉप शिपिंग, ये वो हीलियम पीलियम, हर जगह टूल पे मैंने छान के फिर एक प्रोडक्ट मेरे को मिला. आफ्टर आवर्स ऑफ रिसर्च, I'm like, wow, this product is crazy. I'm excited. I'm like, I'm a millionaire now when I run it.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? It's in Walmart. Now, do you think if
It's
it's in
appealing.
Walmart, they'll buy with me? If I was an American, I would already know that okay, I'm not going to sell this. ये तो Walmart में मिलता है
Yeah.
भाई. मैं रोज जाता हूँ, वहाँ
Mm-hmm.
टंगा होता है, मैं क्यों बेचूं उसको?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
छोटा सा
Exactly.
एग्जांपल है. So I was fighting. It's like क्रिकेट मैच हो रहा था. उनके 11 प्लेयर थे और मेरे 4 थे. I was
Yes.
I was at a disadvantage. So then I
Mm-hmm.
myself, यार मैं इतनी घिस रहा हूँ अपनी. I'm putting in. I swear I got
Effort.
burnt out. I was putting in like 12, 14 hour days, 6, 7 days a week. And yes, I got results, but at what cost? मेरे को ये था कि देखो, एफर्ट तो दोनों जगह जाएगा. यहाँ
Mm.
मैं 100 बना रहा हूँ तो मैं यहाँ 10,000 बना सकता हूँ अपनी होम मार्केट
Exactly.
में. एंड दैट्स व्हेन आई पिवटेड टू इंडिया इन 23. एंड देन आई अगेन लाइक आई प्रैक्टिस व्हाट आई प्रीच. मैं ये नहीं बोलता
Mm-hmm.
कि गाइस इंडिया बेस्ट और खुद कहीं और हूँ. मतलब मैं वो भी कर रहा हूँ, बट ये मेरा मेन है. आई एम बिल्डिंग अ
Yeah.
डिजिटल
Yeah. Yeah.
ब्रांड इन इंडिया राइट नाउ एज वी स्पीक, राइट. एंड दैट इज माय आई एम my pledges to the next decade of India in terms of
Yeah. Yeah.
will be a
So,
complete superpower, and I'm betting on that. Up to, of course, whoever decides to do whatever is your life. Please feel free to choose whatever you have to do. But again, let's talk about what's next for you, Pratik. Like, what are your plans in terms of your business, and what are you planning?
currently I'm switching to a agency ad account.
Okay.
Like I've tried all my scaling methods when it comes to duplication. I mean, we didn't spoke about it yet, but one thing which worked for me was let's say if I'm duplicating or triplicating an ad set and twice the budget or 5x the budget. I mean, out of those three, I think one of them might work, but uh, mostly duplicating with the same budget worked out for me, like
Okay.
with a better CPP.
Okay.
And of course, like when it comes to scaling, my CPP was rising, but I was again testing like different creatives every 3 to 4 days. and now I'm switching to USDT because in the long run, I realized that okay, paying like 18% of GST
Yeah, let's
does
not talk
sound a
about
lot
let's
when you.
yeah. Let's not talk about that on record, but I get your point. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I'm switching to an agency ad account, and then my plans are of importing the inventory from China.
Mm.
Uh, my private supplier, he did give me a quote. But if I try to find a direct manufacturer from China, and since I have a personal CHA agent with me, like who handles my trade and exports and all, so
Nice.
it's quite economical for me. Like I would say it's 50 to 100 per piece, lesser than what the private supplier had quoted me. Uh,
Perfect.
it may be like the same air or
So
sea
your plan now is to go agency account USDT
Yes,
and get
yes.
more get a optimize your sourcing a little more.
Optimizing, yeah, in terms of scaling.
Yes. And what do you
And
think like in terms of projections, what are you thinking? Kahan tak we want to scale it in the next 3 to 6 months?
I think 1 year is doable. Yeah,
100%, man.
it
Once year, come on, you gotta aim higher.
is.
You gotta aim higher, bro.
I
Once
mean,
year.
I'm talking about with this only with the same product, not like the
Okay.
overall business, like store
No, no.
setup,
I
but
think I think I think once year is definitely doable.
it's
I think
definitely, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. You have a you
I did realize that after making like 2,000 orders, and when I stopped the ads, uh, my ads weren't on any Instagram. I mean, I did not upload it on Instagram. It was just through the ad, but I still kept getting organic sales for the next 15 to 20 days without any
wow.
ads running.
Nice,
So
nice.
there was also returning customers, and I think few of them might have came along with the shares which people share with
Got
each
it,
other
got it.
on
Yeah, and a lot
Instagram.
of the times people share it, people save,
And then they
post,
realize,
and they
okay,
come back and then they buy it. 100%.
yeah,
But that talks about कि आपका product अच्छा है because they like it and
yeah,
they
yeah.
come back to it.
And
But
then also you need to, I mean, it's not just about running ads. You need to make sure that your abandoned carts and those things like
yeah, yeah,
drop-offs,
of
get
course.
them
Again, you're
marketing
squeezing on profit,
automation.
but I think once year is definitely doable. Like
Hmm.
I'm gonna make sure you get there. So
Yeah,
let's work together and get you to a
yeah,
growth.
yeah, sure.
You have your backend sorted. You know the content
Hmm.
well, and you have clearly seen and watched the content inside the program. So that tells me
True.
that that's enough right now. We just need to do some steering and a little bit of
Hmm.
sort of optimizing here and there. And I think
Okay.
once year would be 3xing the business from now, correct?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, sure.
so, and I'll tell you what, like just for context.
Hmm.
Uh, so, and I think it'll make sense to you, and this might even help you to understand why I'm saying it'll be again not
Hmm.
easy but doable. तो मेरे
Okay.
को ना अगर मैंने मेरे को 4 साल लग गए या नहीं 4 साल नहीं मेरे को 2 से 3 साल लग गए टू गेट टू माई फर्स्ट $10,000 डे so $10,000 a
Okay.
day in sales. Okay, it took me 2 to 3 years
Hmm.
to my first $10,000 a day in sales. Okay, but it took me 4 days to get to a $40,000 day.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
You understand?
Yeah,
So
yeah, got
zero
it.
to 10,000 took me 3 years, but
Hmm.
10,000 to $40,000 a day in sales took me 4 days.
4 days.
The moral of the
Yeah.
story is that once you get the base right, then
Exactly.
duplicating and scaling it
So
is actually the easy part at times.
yeah, initially I used to. There was a certain fear when it comes to scaling with the CPP spike and those
Yeah.
stuff. But later on, I would say when the volume's coming, you have the backend sorted, like you know the delivery percentage. I think CPP wouldn't matter a lot to
Yeah,
you.
yeah. And honestly, to be honest, if your creatives are dialed in and
Hmm.
you're going open targeting, you're using things like cost
Yeah,
cap,
yeah.
bid cap, then
Hmm.
CPP actually doesn't go up, it
Doesn't, yeah,
decreases. And
yeah.
it's like your flight is now on auto mode. It's flying. Or pilot भी नहीं उड़ा रहा, it's you कि plane वो चल रहा है auto mode में.
Autopilot,
So
yeah.
but that's exciting, man. So I'm super
Hmm.
excited to help you scale to a crore, and hopefully maybe once you hit the crore, we can come back and do a round two of this
Yeah, yeah, sure,
uh,
sure.
and do that. I think that'll be a good sort of like
Hmm.
timeline of your journey. But
Less, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, but thank you for coming on today, man. Had a great
Yeah,
chat.
yeah, me too.
And yeah. Hopefully क्या करेंगे वो.
Hopefully, no, we'll for sure see each other in the next quarter, or like whenever we plan
Yeah,
to.
I'm pretty confident, man. Like I think I speak to a lot of people
Hmm.
on a daily basis, and I think you've got your shit sorted. So I'm excited for getting that 1 crore for you, and whatever I can do to help you get there, I'm obviously going to do that. But
Yeah,
thank you for being on, and yeah,
yeah, yeah,
guys,
likewise.
Watch this. Hopefully, you've seen this. If you've seen it till this time, then I think you've probably learned something from here. Let me know in the
Yeah.
comments what you learned from Pratik, because I learned a lot also. But yeah,
Yeah, me
Pratik,
too.
thanks for coming on, and yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
see you soon.
It's a pleasure. Yeah. We'll
Okay.
meet soon. Yeah.
Yeah.